Stop trying to find the right answer. I don't know how many times I've worked with organizations where things are just stuck. Whatever it is, sales, marketing, HR, operations, because they're waiting on an answer from the CEO because they're trying to find the right solution. Let me give you a secret here. Very rarely is there a true, capital T true, right answer to any solution. There's always a myriad of possibilities, perspectives, ideas, solutions that are out there. But time and time again, I run into this situation where they're trying to find the right answer. Now, two instances where I tend to see that the most from a very tactical perspective is HR in hiring, more of the hiring process, and when adopting some kind of software platform solution. And let's just keep it all in the HR perspective, right? People are afraid to hire wrong. As someone who's been hiring and managing HR my entire career, so 20 years of hiring people, I can tell you this. I have had times where by the book, I have done everything right. Consultants and HR professionals reading job descriptions and resumes and vetting it and getting references and following up background checks, everything that you can think of in this process to make sure we are making the right hire. And that person's gone within 60, 90 days. On the flip side, I have been a part of hiring someone on a whim. Someone you met, or maybe even you posted a job and they don't quite fit everything, but like there was just something there, right? There was some kind of spark that you saw in them. And like, man, I think this could be the right person for the job. They may not check all the boxes. We didn't check their references, but we're gonna give it a shot. And they're the best employee ever. So my point is like no matter what you're doing, you can never guarantee that you're making the right decision hiring. It's impossible. Like I know some HR consultants or recruiters would probably tell you otherwise, but like as someone who's been doing this for 20 years and has hired and fired a lot of people, you can never make sure it's the absolute right decision. It's just impossible. So what you want to do is do the best you can, due diligence that you can, hire the people, and when it's not a good fit, make that transition out quickly. It doesn't have to be mean and inhumane and firing people at the drop of a hat, but like make sure that you're transitioning people as quickly as possible. The other side of this is platforms and softwares. And again, keeping it in the HR family, launching a new payroll platform gives people so much headache. I'm in some industry like listservs where people pass around ideas and ask for feedback and solutions and recommendations on this and that. There's probably not a single thing that I see more often than what kind of payroll platform or PEO that you use. If you don't know what PEO is, I'll explain that later, but we'll just call it all payroll platforms. People want to know what the best one is for their organization, time and time again. And my answer is always the same. For every platform that is out there, if you take 10 people's opinions who have used that software, you will at best have 5 people who liked it and 5 people who hated it. Time and time again. The problem with software is it tries to be everything to everyone, and you can't do that. So you're gonna have some people who love it, some people who hate it. Some people who love the technology, some people who hate it. Some people who love the customer service, some people who hate it. It is a very, very individualized, subjective decision that has to be made. And so just do your best, do the right due diligence, and make the best decision from the information you have. So I'm often asked, like, John, well, how do we discover the right information? Like, whether you're talking about an HR platform, hiring, or any other problem or solution you're trying to solve or put forward for your organization, there's several things that are very, very crucial, right? You want to use every resource you have at your disposal, right? Internally, externally, tap into those resources. And this is something I talk a lot about. Like, you got to almost dare to be dumb a little bit, or be willing to be dumb. You got to be willing to ask the right questions. You got to be willing to put yourself out there and ask other people what they think and that sort of thing. And I don't mean just posting this in a listserv and see what happens. But if it's a legal problem, don't sit there and struggle over it. Contact your lawyer. Don't struggle over something with accounting. Contact your accountant. One of the best things I love to do in trying to figure out what software solution is best for our needs, use the competitors against one another. And I don't mean by showing them the proposal, but when you're talking to this one, say, look, you're saying this is the best solution for this reason. I was talking to this other company over here, and they're saying the best solution is this because of this reason. Let them vet each other. Like utilize them to argue against each other. But you got to be willing to ask the questions and put that out there. But the key to making the right decisions is gathering as much information as you can. You're never gonna have all the information. It's never gonna be black and white. This is the shining moment. This is gonna make sure that this is the right decision. That moment's rarely ever gonna happen. But you gather the information you can, analyze it, and then make a decision. The great leaders of businesses and organizations and governments aren't the leaders who have, throughout their history and their career, have made every single right answer, but what they've always been willing to do is make it the answer, right? Give the answer. That's often a piece of leadership that is often missed. So one of the things that throughout my career that has served me well is being able to bring in that information, analyze that information, and make a quick decision based upon that. Because the sooner that you can make the decision and execute on it, the sooner you're gonna find out if it worked, if it was the right one, right? If you just sit on your hands and do nothing, the only result you're gonna get is the same one you already have, which you know is not working for your company. So take the chance, get the information, analyze the information, and make a decision as quickly as reasonably possible so you can move your organization forward.